If I had to give some advice to new players of the Souls games, I would say, spend your souls or lose your souls. If your lore theory doesn't work, just say time is convoluted, then leave before someone says that's a mistranslation. And never trust an NPC with a curved sword. Yurt from Demon Souls was the original reason for that last one, and if you heed that warning for anyone, please let it be him. He can single-handedly ruin a playthrough if you don't know about him. There's a lot of similarities between him and Lautrec in Dark Souls besides weapon choice. Both are rescued from a cell, both kill important NPCs, and both seem to be doing the bidding of an unseen Damimami. The major difference I see is one is bloodthirsty, the other is just thirsty. Everything Lautrec does is for his goddess, and I don't even think she asked him to do it. Heck, I don't even think she's spoken to him since she gave him the armor version of leaving hair ties and bobby pins all over his room. The favored set Lautrec dons mentions how his loneliness caused him to forsake everything because he believed in her favor that much. Choosing to make this a little bit less sad, I think there was an embrace between the two. She left him with the ring of favor and protection and said, "Don't call me, I'll call you." After some time, he got tired of crying into her body pillow every night and decided to make a big romantic gesture by traveling all the way to Lordran. Only, it's almost impossible to get there if you're not a god or undead, so I believe the everything he forsook was life, and that he willingly became undead to get to the goddess who gave him a fap ring. Of course, he couldn't show up empty-handed, and she probably wouldn't have any interest in his jar project, so he had to make a quick stop to get her favorite tribute. 7-Eleven was all out of Firekeeper souls, though. If all goes to the infallible design of From Software, we meet him in a jail cell behind a broken door in the undead parish. I've seen people say that the channeler or Oswald put him there for doing this, or that he's pretending, but I personally think it was Patches. He brings Patches up by name long before he comes up for air. The channeler probably would have brought him over to Sens, and this likely wasn't a sin in the eyes of Velka, but a lawful sacrifice that went unanswered. Plus, Oswald doesn't strike me as the type to let Lautrec out for good behavior without paying. Oh, and he begs you to let him out if you walk away, so I don't think he's pretending, unless he's acting out some kind of fetish. On second thought, we'll put that one in the maybe pile. Patches says Lautrec is mad and will kill anyone for humanity, but I don't think that's quite right. He only kills Firekeepers. He doesn't kill the Chosen Undead, or any of the other NPCs around Firelink. Nor does he act on his tip about a defenseless nubile cleric loaded with humanity, or invade even if we don't let him out. It's about the Firekeeper soul, not the humanity, or shutting down the bonfire. If he wanted the humanity, he would have popped the soul. And if he wanted to shut down the bonfire to rage against the machine, he would have popped the soul. Also, as I learned the hard way on my first playthrough, picking up the Undead Parish and Blighttown Firekeeper souls triggers him to go straight from jail to killing Anastasia and running down Orlando, even without talking to him, ringing a bell, or killing a boss. He's after a Firekeeper soul to pay pig for his goddess, so maybe she'll step on him again. And after you grab those two, as far as he knows, it's either Anastasia or the Dark Moon Nidus. Pretty easy choice, especially if you think your princess is on Orlando Castle. But why would a goddess of love want a Firekeeper soul? Well, in Dark Souls 2, there's a goddess of love mentioned on the name engraved ring. That goddess's symbol is an Estus flask. Estus flasks are made from Firekeeper souls. Assuming they're the same or similar, her love language is tortured blind girl souls. If you let him out, he's fairly helpful for a while. He rewards you with a sunlight medal, and he's available to summon versus the Gargoyles and Gaping Dragon. I struggled for a long time trying to figure out why he's a summon for the Gaping Dragon. Why not Quelaag? I just chalked it up as gameplay reasons for so long, but I think I finally figured it out. There's a channeler nearby for both of his summon. Channelers work for Seath, who's going through his kidnapping maidens phase. I think he's tailing them to get leads on a Firekeeper with less heat. Taking the two Firekeeper souls he had leads on, or ringing both bells, pushes his desperation into overdrive, so he takes the one right in front of him and runs off. Unfortunately, this kill is a big crime, like even bigger than using the Lord Vessel as a chamber pot, as it directly impedes both the Age of Fire and Age of Dark schemes, so it produced a black eye orb. You can use it to invade Lautrec, who has formed a gank squad. I don't think that this is any kind of humanity farming setup that he's put together. I think he's just relied heavily on summons to get himself this far, and this is a continuation of that. He summoned them to help clear the area and get past Sparky and Moobs. I've seen some people say that he's killed Gwynevere's illusion, and I'm not really sure where that came from. His world clearly isn't dark on Orlando, and I would say that since he can still summon white phantoms here, he hasn't cleared the bosses guarding here yet, so that's not really possible. Once you kill him, his body appears upstairs in the boss room. How did it get up there? I'd say he hollowed and wandered in. Ornstein probably skewered him as soon as he crossed the fog wall, and since he's found on Smo's side of the bed, I think he was saving him for later. Or maybe time is convoluted.